Hi, I'm Pete Holloway. I'm a Senior Vice President of Hazlitt, Bird and Watson in Wheeling, where I'm a financial advisor. I'm also a certified financial planner. And as always, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to On Money. Today's guest is Kurt Zende. He's the brand new president of the Wheeling area of Chamber of Commerce. He's a native of Steubenville, went to Wintersville High, and got a business management degree from Franciscan University. He has had a number of jobs, a program manager at the Jefferson County Chamber. He was the director of economic development at the Jefferson County Chamber. He had in the past ran 5 Subway restaurants and started December 31st of last year as president of the Wheeling Chamber. He's married, has 5 children ranging in age from 11 to 22. And I want to thank you for being on the show with us.
Great, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Sure. By the way, we're having some video issues with Kurt, so you're just going to be hearing his voice today. Tell us a little more about your career to date and how it got you into this position to be president of the Wheeling Area Chamber.
Well, when I had the position as Main Street Program Director for the Jefferson County Chamber, it was mid '80s. I was right out of college, and after gaining experience there, was fortunate enough to become the Director of Economic Development in Jefferson County under Terry Sterling. And quite honestly, he was a great mentor. Terry was a very good economic development guy. Terry was fortunate enough to get the president's job here at the Chamber in 1995. And I came down to Wheeling with Terry in 95 and was the Senior Vice President of Membership, Sales, and Governmental Affairs. So worked with him for 5 or 6 years, and my wife and I had an opportunity to buy into Subway restaurants, so we did that and owned and operated those for almost 9 years. And towards the end of that, had a general manager running most of them for me, and the job came open for the economic development specialist for the city of Wheeling under Bob Herron. And that was back in 2005, and I was fortunate enough to get that job and was there for 17 years before this position. And Bob was just an absolute great mentor. We're very fortunate to have a city manager of his quality. And as a matter of fact, we just honored him yesterday at our board meeting for his 20th year at the city. So we work very closely together still. And we, as we do with the other entities that are in economic development and other business organizations. But that's kind of my story so far.
Okay. All righty. Now you're still literally three months into this new job. What kind of plans do you have for the chamber? What are you going to do to put your stamp on it?
Well, we're in the process of rebranding everything. New logo and new website. We want to be an online information community. We want to market the quality of life outside the area. Obviously, we need to increase membership. Sustainability is very important to us. We don't get government funding. We're a private nonprofit organization that acquires their money from membership, dues, and sponsorships. So, we're looking for bigger and better events. We're going to add some new events to it. But, also, I think because of my background, we're going to get more involved in economic development, especially the downtown redevelopment of things here, as well as one of the reasons I think I was hired is to really take a hard look at workforce development. And we've got a lot of good heads together looking at that. And, we're going to be doing some things to hopefully better the workforce community, or have our business community have a more opportunity to develop a workforce, if that's the right thing to say.
Let's go into detail on some of those. How do you plan to grow the membership? Everybody knows what a Chamber of Commerce is. How do you pick up new members, or what are you doing to pick up new members?
We have to add more value, especially to the smaller folks. When I was here in the mid 90s, we still had Wheeling Pittsburgh Steel. The coal mines were still going strong. So all the ancillary businesses that come off of those big businesses were still here. So you had a base of probably 750 members that, quite honestly, 400 of them were probably very big and were just very interested in the advocacy aspect of what chambers do. Now that things have changed through COVID and really just the downsizing and the world economy, people are looking to get a bang for their buck, obviously. So we've got to take a hard look at what we're doing for I call them mom and pop retailers and the cosmetologists and things like that. And I think that we need to come up with a special category that maybe isn't quite as expensive for these folks, and then really bring value to them from a networking perspective, from a marketing perspective. And I think we can do that with everything that we're trying to do with what we're going to do with our website. Member-to-member discount. We want to do something on the website that's almost like an Angie's List, a referral system. We want to take a look at can we get landlords with apartments to post on our website to know the availability of apartments? Can the realtors have one place? I know they have a multi-list and everything, but a lot of people gravitate, especially from out of town, will gravitate to the Chamber of Commerce. So can we be all things to all people, as well as maybe almost become like an Indeed for a local level for our businesses? So have, the workforce, the job lists on our website, and then match those up with the schools that are in the area. We have got great colleges in the area, West Liberty obviously being one of the biggest, if not the biggest. And just matching up all these entities to make the area better and to provide a service for our membership in a number of different ways. So that's some of the things that we're trying to do.
John Deskins, who is essentially the chief economist for the state of West Virginia, is pounding the table about the lack of participation in the workforce by people. How do you expect, or how could you turn that around? We're number 50 out of 50 states and the number of people who really want to have a job. What can we do? Because if there are more people looking for jobs, that's more reason for someone to move in from out of town.
Absolutely. We're getting together with the Regional Economic Development Partners, West Virginia Northern, some of the other local colleges, the state of West Virginia, Marshall County Chamber. We're going to have a workforce symposium on April 6th at the Highlands Event Center, and we're going to bring in a number of different speakers. We want to put all the programs out on the table. We want to make sure that the job providers, our businesses in the area, understand the resources that are out there, and then also communicate with the colleges to let them know, what do our employers need? What are we missing here? The other thing we want to do, and it's going to be tedious, but we're getting together with the city, the county, Red again, and some others, and we really want to take a hard look at using analytics and data and do some direct marketing to individuals that are outside the area that, quite honestly, maybe are in larger cities, probably aren't at this point enjoying the quality of life that they have. Really enforce the quality of life we have here. Target them directly. There's a number of different ways we can do it, trying to maybe go through the colleges, get some of their database, or let them reach out to their graduates that, hey, we're here. Why don't you come back, take a look at that? But, do the direct marketing and try to piece everything together. As we sit here today, Pete, as well as I do, the world economy is just so poor that, we don't have the land or obviously now the availability of workforce to really attract businesses in. And then when you take a look at the neighboring states that we're up against, little West Virginia doesn't have the incentive packages that the big Ohio's and the Pennsylvanias have.
So we almost Ohio offered Intel $20 billion or something, not that much, but an insane amount of money to get them to locate that chip plant.
Exactly. So we almost have to do it on a individual basis, and I mean, we've got local businesses here, and I'm not afraid to say Williams Lee, one of their main director, the big guys on our board, Michael Santa Maria, and Michael's a great guy. We just were talking the other day at our board meeting, and just a very, very difficult time acquiring talent. They had openings here a few years ago. This was before COVID, so this is how bad it's only worse now. But even before COVID, they had 120 positions that they were offering. They're a data processing firm out of their back office out of London, England, and they had a big job, and they were trying to acquire 120 different people to come in and do the job for them. And the wages were, reasonable, like $21 to $25 an hour, if I'm correct on that. They couldn't get one person. They took it to Columbus, Ohio, and filled it in 3 days. Then another 120 jobs came up, and they filled that. I just think we're an older community. When the baby boomers and those types are retiring, we don't have the numbers coming in to fill all the positions that are leaving. And it's just created a massive black hole that I don't know how you fill it quickly. But we've got a lot of good heads we're putting together to determine how do we best do this. It's not an easy task, I can tell you that.
There you go. Now let's change subjects just slightly, which is to bring new business to Wheeling. Have you put any plans together about that? Or when I say Wheeling, if a business goes to St. Clairsville, we get the benefit. So I'm sure you're
absolutely
looking at a much broader scale than just us here.
Absolutely, and we're getting together with really through the regional economic development partners, and we're kind of forming an informal alliance with the St. Clairsville Chamber of Commerce, the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, and the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to take a look at all the available land and sites and all the infrastructure that's in that region. We're taking a hard look at that corridor between the Highlands and Washington County. There's so much land out there that, and some of it's not even going to be for commercial development or industrial. It is actually, is that land more suitable for residential? And housing such a key factor here. We don't have our housing needs it's incredible there's nothing there. We don't have any new developments happening. So, it's going to be a broad approach. It's going to be a regional approach. We have to identify areas outside of our, of even where my membership's from. 60% of our memberships in Wheeling. The other 40% is Ohio County, Marshall County, Belmont County, Brooke County, Washington County. So we are a regional chamber. We are, so almost half is outside the city of Wheeling. And we've got to look at it that way. So we're going to be working with a number of different entities to, what are your needs as far as, okay, you've got a site in your region. What's the infrastructure look like? What do we have to do to get it to be developable? And then do you think this would be more amenable to being a residential site? And really take a hard look at all these things from a regional approach and do it in a coordinated effort, knowing that, guys, we're in this together. If we go down as a region, what good is it to be the king of, Ohio County or Wheeling, right? So, so that's what we're looking at. I don't have the answers yet, Pete. I mean, we like I said, it's tough. I'll tell you, when COVID hit, and all the Red will tell you this, Regional Economic Development Partners, myself, when I was Economic Development Specialist, our phone quit ringing, obviously. I mean, you couldn't, there was nothing. There was no development going on. And to be honest with you, because of the supply chain in the world and the whole world economy, there is no one really looking on a massive scale. And it's kind of disturbing, but I think we've got all the pieces to come back strong. We just have to weather this little storm and put our heads together and go and market. And, it's a great area to live. Let's face it, the quality of life here, and we need to sell that. And that's what we're going to try to do.
That's great. Now, one final question for you. You're brand new to the job. Let's look at you retiring 10 years from now, and you're looking back. What kinds of things would you be hoping to see at that point?
Well, I'll tell you, I would like to see a redeveloped downtown, and I think it's going to happen. I think once the streetscape improvement happens here, hopefully in the spring, or even in 2023, I think that'll be the crown jewel that will create. I think most areas are viewed by their regional downtowns. I mean, can you imagine coming through the tunnels in Pittsburgh looking blah? And up in Pennsylvania and all that. So I would say a redeveloped downtown. I would say a much more diverse and just more of a workforce. I would love for my 5 kids to be able to come back here if they want to, and be able to either buy a business and run it or have a job opportunity. I just think that there's a number of different, things along the riverfront that could make us better and more attractive for more tourism. I said in the paper the other day, and I truly believe this, we've got the best convention and visit bureau in the state. We need to give them even more things to sell. Don't get me wrong, we've got a great quality of life in Ogilvy and Center Market and the Capitol Music Hall, West Banco. They're all great venues. But there are some things that I think we can do to broaden the region and broaden the appeal and bring them there. So, those are the types of things I'd like to see in the next 10 years. And quite honestly, Pete, you got to start now to get there 10 years from now. The health plan was a 10-year deal. We acquired the land under the Sparasheen administration and was built between the McKinsey and Elliott administration. So you had quite a long time frame, and we've got to view that, and take our little wins as we go. But in the end, hopefully we'll have big wins.
Well, that's great. I want to wish you the best of luck. I know the chamber's in good hands. I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank the audience too. We'll be seeing you next week. I'm Pete Holloway for Hazlett, Bird & Watson.